Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be looking at Monk's active tile triggers. We're going to be doing a general overview of the module as well as using it to set up traps and teleportation. We'll start off first with a player view and we're going to have our player move on to the teleportation circle that I have already set up. Let's see what happens when they do. We see the screen whites out and the player has moved across the map. They may be a little bit dazed, but they can still move freely from this point. Perhaps they take a couple steps too far and they step onto this bear trap right here and snap. They are targeted. We're going to see that we are going to be requested to make a dexterity saving roll right there. Let's go ahead and see if we make the save. We got a success on a 17. With the player view out of the way, let's go ahead and jump over to the GM perspective and take a look at our setup. As the name implies for this module, you'll be using tiles to facilitate all of the setup. So let's go to our tile browser and grab one to start off everything. Let's take this one right here. So as we can see, it is quite massive. So first I'm going to adjust the size. Next, we can go ahead and open it up. Go to the animation, and I want to stop the animation from looping right now, as we'll stop it from playing. Let's take a look at some of the key features of the module. Selecting the tile, going to triggers, setup, we have active and inactive. We can decide whether it can affect all tokens, only the player tokens, or only GM tokens. When it is going to activate, and we can see there are many options available here. If it can be activated while the game is paused, or only when it's running. And if it can go off more than one time for a single token, or only once per token. And lastly, the percentile chance to trigger. Before we do anything else with the tile, let's go ahead and create a new actor. This is going to be a non-player character, and we're going to name it Trap. I've already created mine right here. We'll be using this actor to facilitate all of the traps for our entire game. After you've created the NPC, you'll want to give it some attacks or spells. In my case, I'm going to be giving it some inventory items from the module Traps, Trembles, and Triggers. I'll be putting a link down below where you can pick this up. They have a wide array of traps that you can easily add to your game. With our NPC complete, let's go back to our tile. We're going to go to just the basic setup for triggers. We're going to make sure that it's selected as active. We can allow all tokens. In our case, we want it to become active when a token has entered the space. And we want the chance to trigger to be up to 100%. Next, we need to go to the actions. The actions you create here will happen if the prerequisites you put into place in your setup are met. Let's go ahead and create a new one right now. We're going to go to attack, since this is a trap. Select the entity. We want to use the triggering token, whichever token walks onto our trap. Select an actor. We're going to select the NPC trap, I should say. We need to choose an attack. We're going to choose the Trapper's Steel Jaws, but you can use anything that is on that trap NPC sheet. Roll mode, we'll make it public rather than private or blind or self, and display as role message. Now if you're using the MIDI QOL module and you're using any sort of automation in your game, you want to check this box, which will make it work all together. And then we are finished for now, so click Update Tile. And here's what happens when our GM control token moves onto the trap we've just created. They're going to roll a dexterity saving throw. It looks like they succeeded, so they take half the damage, so 1 piercing damage. Now obviously, whether it is a save or an attack, or you just putting down a template for a spell, is going to depend on which attack you chose in the actions menu. Now there's one thing that we should probably change. If we take a look at the tile, the animation hasn't actually played. This is really easy to fix. Let's go ahead and do that next. We're just going to select the tile, go to actions one more time, add a new action. We want to go to play animation, which is right there. This tile, start it for everyone, update, and update tile. And here's our finished product. GM control token steps on one more time. We can see it closes in on them, but everything else acts the same as before. All of these animations were created by Jinker, including the next one we're going to be looking at with the teleportation circle. So the setup for the teleport is remarkably similar to that of the trap. We're just going to select our tile, make sure the tile is active, and we have the settings the way we'd like, including the percentile chance, and making sure it affects the tokens we want it to. Next we go to actions. We can create a new one, which I've done here already. We're going to select the action teleport. The entity is the triggering token. Select where it's going to go. In this case, I wanted the other tile at the very top of the scene. Snap to grid, meaning the token is going to snap in place and not be in a wonky spot of the map. Animate canvas pan, whether you want the camera to pan over to the token's new location, compared to what we saw earlier with the whiteout. Delete source token, this is primarily if the token is going to be moving to a new scene and you want to delete the token on the old scene. But in this case, the token is going to be staying all together on the same scene. Preserve settings of the token, and avoid other tokens at the destination, making sure that no two tokens end up in the same square. Here's what all of that looks like when it is finished. So move on to the token and pan over to the new circle that we selected in the setup. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. As you can see, there's a lot more that you can do with this module. I hope you have some time to check it out for yourselves, and I hope this video has been helpful. Thanks everyone, have a good day.